Right now, inside you, there is a pool of acid strong enough to dissolve metal. It's sitting in a soft, wet bag of living tissue, and that bag is made of the exact kind of material the acid is designed to destroy. By every rule that should matter, your stomach should be digesting itself. It isn't. It won't. And the reason it doesn't is one of the strangest survival tricks your body pulls off every single second. A defense so relentless that it rebuilds itself faster than the acid can tear it down. But to understand why your stomach survives, you first need to understand just how violent the thing inside it really is. Stomach acid is mostly hydrochloric acid, same family as the stuff in industrial cleaners. On the pH scale, where lower means more corrosive, your stomach sits around pH 1 to 2. That's acidic enough to strip rust off steel, acidic enough to break down bone, muscle, cartilage, the toughest tissue you eat. And here's the uncomfortable part. Your stomach wall is made of that same tissue, protein, living cells, the exact menu the acid is built to dismantle. So the moment food arrives and the acid pours in, your body is doing something that sounds insane. It's storing a substance capable of destroying it inside a container made of the very thing it destroys. Something has to be protecting that wall, and it's not what most people would guess. Most people assume the stomach must be lined with something tough, something armored. It's the opposite. The lining is soft, delicate, alive. What saves it isn't strength. It's a coating. The stomach wall is blanketed in a layer of mucus, thick, slippery, and constantly refreshed. This isn't the runny stuff you think of. It's a dense gel, and it clings to the wall like a shield. The acid hits the mucus, not the tissue. The digestion happens a fraction of a millimeter away from cells that would be eaten alive if they were ever exposed. But mucus alone wouldn't be enough. Acid is patient. Given time, it seeps, it creeps through. So the body added a second trick. Buried in that mucus layer is a base, bicarbonate, the same compound in baking soda. The stomach's own cells pump it directly into the gel. And here's where it gets clever. Acid and base cancel each other out. So as acid works its way down through the mucus toward the wall, it runs into a rising tide of bicarbonate coming the other way. The two meet in the middle and neutralize. The result is a hidden gradient. At the surface of the mucus, facing the stomach, the environment is savagely acidic. But right at the cell wall, deep in the gel, the pH is almost neutral. Nearly safe. Your stomach isn't holding back the acid. It's disarming it, molecule by molecule, in a zone you'd never see. But even this two-layer defense has a flaw, because none of it is permanent. Here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. The defense is failing constantly. Acid does break through. Cells do die. Every single day, the wall of your stomach is being chewed away in tiny amounts. There is no version of this where the barrier holds perfectly. So the body doesn't try to win by lasting. It wins by rebuilding. The stomach lining replaces itself at a staggering pace. The entire surface layer of cells is regenerated every few days. Some of the most exposed cells are swapped out in a matter of minutes. Your stomach is essentially a wall that is being demolished and rebuilt at the same time, faster than the demolition can finish. You are not the same stomach you were last week. Not even close. It's not one defense, it's three, stacked on top of each other. A mucus shield, a neutralizing tide, and a rebuild crew that never clocks out. And when even one of those layers slips, you find out exactly how the whole thing was holding together. This is where it stops being abstract, because sometimes the defense does lose. When that mucus and bicarbonate layer gets thinned or damaged, the acid reaches the wall it was never supposed to touch. It starts digesting living tissue. The result has a name people know well, an ulcer, a raw, open wound in the stomach lining, eaten by the same acid that digests your dinner. For decades, doctors blamed stress and spicy food. They were wrong. Most ulcers are caused by a bacterium, Helicobacter pylori, that burrows into the mucus layer and sabotages the defense from the inside. It survives the acid by hiding in the very shield that's supposed to keep the acid out. Think about that. The one place in your body too hostile for almost anything to live, and something evolved to live there specifically by attacking the armor. So why keep acid this dangerous at all? Why risk it? Because the acid isn't just for digestion. It's a kill zone. Nearly everything you swallow, bacteria, parasites, spoiled food teeming with microbes, hits that acid and dies. It's one of the most important defenses you have against getting sick, and you never think about it. Your body made a deal. Keep a weapon this lethal on board at all times, and pay for it with a wall that has to be endlessly maintained. endlessly rebuilt, endlessly defended. It's expensive, it's relentless, and it's worth it because the alternative is letting everything you eat into your body unchecked. The acid protects you. The mucus protects the acid's container. The bicarbonate protects the wall. And the constant rebuilding protects all of it. So the next time you eat something, remember what's happening a few inches below. A pool of acid strong enough to dissolve bone is pouring into a soft living bag, and that bag is winning, not because it's tough, not because the acid is weak, but because it's coated, neutralized, and rebuilt faster than it can ever be destroyed. Your stomach doesn't eat itself for the same reason a fire doesn't burn the fireplace. It's not that the fire is gentle, it's that everything around it was built, layer by layer, to survive the thing it's holding. And it's been doing it quietly every second, since long before you were ever aware you had a stomach at all.